ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Welcome to today's session outlook. Firstly, let's start with the Chinese shares. They were lower as the long-awaited Shenzhen Hong Kong Stocks Connect launched today, with of course giving mainland investors access to Hong Kong listed stocks, and of course allowed international investors to trade the Shenzhen listed stocks as well. As we can see, the Shenzhen composite index was down 16.3 points, or about 0.78% at 2068.15. As of course, respectively, the Shanghai composite 39 points down, or about 1.2% at 3204.97 after China's securities regulator chairman Liu Shiyu, of course, called company buyouts by some asset managers barbaric. Of course, that was on Sunday. And we can see the Nikkei 225 index Japan closed down about 0.82%, or about 151.1 point. As of course, the yen gained to 1.1287 during the Asian trade, but of course last stood at 114.04, or about down about 0.45%, after of course touching 9-month low at 114.83. European markets were down on Monday following the announcement from the Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi that he intended to resign after a defeat in a key referendum. However, the markets gained much faster than anticipated, and now the Pan-European 600 index is up about 4.55 points, or about 1.34%. And as we can see, the rest of the markets heavily up, 54.48 points up for the FTSE 100, or about 0.8% to the north, almost 200 points, or almost 2% for the DAX. As we can see, the euro is slightly lower after the Prime Minister Matteo Renzi said he would resign after a concerning defeat in a referendum over the plan to reform the constitution. The euro dropped about 1.3% to 1.0505 after falling below its 1.5-year low of 1.0518, touched late last month, and of course tested its key support level at 1.05, where the currency was managing to rebound in the past few years, with of course the euro dollar bouncing off to trade back at 1.0642, and that is 0.25% still to the downside. Sterling, of course, little change at 1.2720 versus the dollar, with gold giving up gains earlier in the Asian trade to trade down to at 1162.80, or that's massive 1.2% early in the European trade, and that's $13.8 to the south. Of course, the losses were remaining modest early in the European session after jitters over the resignation of the Italian Prime Minister, but as we can see, they steepened quite quickly early in the session after breaching the 1172 key support area. And as we can see now, 1164.20. Of course, oil prices, however, were bouncing up to test the $52 mark, or that's the pivot level on the weekly basis. Now up about 0.55%, or 32 cents up, as we can see. Of course, earlier in the session, prices fell on concerns that output planned as part of a concerned action between producers Club OPEC and Russia might not be as big as initially anticipated. And of course, we also saw last week oil rigs in US climbing as well. However, the most important, prices are now higher. That's all from the most important of today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.